We're back with Republican Congressman Mike McCaul of Texas, the chairman of the House Homeland Security Committee. Mr. Chairman, the Mexican government, after that nearly 1-hour phone conversation between the two presidents, released a statement which says President Peña Nieto and President Trump agreed to stop talking publicly about the border wall because they clearly disagree on that wall. But the statement from the White House made no mention of that agreement to stop talking about the wall. As you know, the border wall has been one of President Trump's favorite talking points since he began his presidential campaign. Should the president stay quiet about the border wall for the time being?
Well, I think he's talked quite a bit about it. I'm glad he had a productive conversation with the president of Mexico. You know, Mexico is our neighbor to the south. They're not our enemy. I think it's important we work with them. They're one of our largest trading partners. I know the president's going to renegotiate the NAFTA agreement. And when I met with the Mexican ambassador, he told me that, you know, it's time to update the NAFTA agreement and that they want to work with us on securing not only the northern border, but I think their southern border, which is really the choke point where a lot of these illegal aliens, these Central Americans, are coming in through Mexico. And so I think this can all be done in a very more constructive fashion, if you will. But I do think it's time to get this done. And I just got off the phone with General Kelly to talk about how we plan to construct this barrier, if you will, a multi-layered one with fencing, with aerostats, aviation assets, technologies, all put together. And then how much is that going to cost? Because at the end of the day, Wolf, Congress, through my committee and the Appropriations Committee, will have to authorize and appropriate the dollars to get it done.
And General John Kelly is the new Secretary of Homeland Security. How much is it going to cost?
Yes. Well, the estimates right now, and they're kind of rough ball, but about $12 to $15 billion.
Is it at all realistic, Mr. Chairman, that Mexico will reimburse the U.S. one way or another for that $10 to $15 billion?
I don't think it's foreseeable that a president who has about 11% popularity can get the Mexican Congress to appropriate the monies to do that. But we are looking at creative ways to achieve this goal. I think give me an example. Well, one idea is this boardable adjustable tax rate, which, you know, currently we tax exports but not imports coming into the country. So we favor foreign workers and manufacturers over American manufacturers. It's sort of in line with the President's America First policy. So if we just change that one law in the tax code, it would bring in an estimated $1 trillion. That alone could easily pay for this wall, and the president could say that part of that did come from Mexico.
Explain that again, because I'm not understanding specifically how that money, how Mexico could be seen as paying for this new kind of tax.
Well, because imports coming in from Mexico would have a tax on them, which currently they don't.
Well, wouldn't the American consumer, Mr. Chairman, wouldn't the American consumer wind up paying for that increased tax because goods coming in from Mexico would cost the American consumer more, and the American consumer would suffer as a result of that kind of tax?
Well, I would argue that the American worker, manufacturer, and producer in the United States benefits here. It really levels the playing field because currently, again, we tax exports coming out of the country, but not foreign products coming into the country. And I think, you know, again, I think it's very much in line with the America First policy. That's just one of many creative ideas that we're looking at in the Congress as a way to pay for this. Now, having said that, Wolf, the initial down payment is going to be the American taxpayer. It's going to be an appropriation done on an emergency spending basis. And we should hopefully be able to get that passed and signed by the president in the next several months. But I'll be working again with the secretary and the appropriators to achieve this goal.
All right, we'll see if Donald Trump, the president of the United States, can one way or another, creative, complicated, one way or another, find a way for Mexico to repay the U.S. taxpayers that $10 to $15 billion, which Congress, you say, will appropriate in the coming months to build that wall. Mr. Chairman, thanks as usual for joining us.
Thanks so much.